this morning I'm going to show you guys what I do every single morning. So here's my little equipment I use, the yoga mat. Let's get to it.
Right here I'm rolling out my calves and going up and down, kind of finding, sore spots here and there. And if I find a super sore spot, I'll kind of maneuver back and forth to loosen it up. And I usually do this for around 30 seconds each leg just to kind of loosen it up. If there's extra sore spots, then I'll use another one of my recovery tools to help me with that, shown later in the video. I've now moved on to the hamstrings, and I like to focus on these a little bit more just because it's one of the bigger muscles and it protects your ACL. And I like to do it for around 45 seconds to a minute of rolling back and forth. And the same concept, finding sore spots here and there, maneuvering on them, getting the knots out. We've now moved on to the piriformis. So piriformis can be stretched out and rolled out by crossing your leg and using your hands as a stabilizer and leaning back, as you can see, towards the right. And you'll see right where that hip attaches to your butt, there's a muscle right there that can get really sore, and roll right on it and you'll feel how sore it is. Now moving on to the quad. I roll the quad out for, again, about 30 seconds each leg, and I like to stop and go on sore spots, and I'm rolling from the knee all the way up into the hip flexor. Again, from the knee all the way up into the hip flexor, and roll until you find those sore spots and keep rolling. All right, so this is the tool I was talking about earlier, where if you can't get your calves with the foam roller, you can use this to get certain areas that are hard to get with the foam roller. Is it necessary? Debatable. Do I love it? Yes. It's nice for massages. It's just nice to have. I mean, you can put on your feet, as you see, but the foam roller does plenty of great things, and it's at a way cheaper price. I think this runs you about $300. That's US dollars, and it's a great tool to have if you're a professional basketball player like I am. But if you're just an everyday runner, I think the Black Roll foam roller would do you good. Now moving on to the 8-centimeter Black Roll ball. It's great for trigger points, certain areas in your piriformis you can't get. It's also great to use in your calf, put more pressure on certain areas. My favorite thing to use it for is to release my plantar fasciitis. It's one of the best feelings in the world. Now moving on to the actual stretches that I do. So here's the green band. Obviously you can use any band you want. And each stretch I do is for around 30 seconds. So I start behind my head, then I move out to the left or right, and then I go hold there for 30 seconds. Hold it until you feel a good stretch. And then I like to do it behind my head, and then hold it above my head. And I do this for both legs. On to the mini band exercises. So this is the Black Roll green band. As you can see right here, I'm doing ankle strengthening stuff. So holding it with one foot and putting it out to the side. Right here we call these clamshells, so working on hip strength. I do it until failure. And this is working on my, again, not quadriceps, but my hamstrings. As you see right here, I'm working on the arches, pulling that toe up, trying to develop these flat feet that I have. Moving on to stretches, more stretches. These are yoga poses. That is for the hips right there. If you have tight hip flexors, this helps a lot for sure. Now moving on to stretching the calves out, getting better ankle mobility is a big thing in basketball. Upward dog, downward dog for all you yoga people out there. Whoa, hello. Now moving on to one of my favorites, using the Waffle Studios. So right here I'm doing a deep squat, working on my range of motion. Range of motions for basketball players is usually not that good. So these make it harder to balance and are also working ankle flexibility as well. So right here I'm working on ankle stability, balancing on the pita, they like to call it. going back and forth, making it unstable. Again, here working on ankle flexibility. The more ankle flexibility you can get, the higher you can jump. Last but not least, the good old deep squat, assisted with the band we used earlier to really help me lean forward and get that flexion in those ankles. And remember, always to clean up your mess when you're done, so your wife will be happy. Again, thanks for watching and consider subscribing. Until next time, we'll see you.